This King Island Radio and Television. I'm sure you already heard or read about it or seen about it, the recycle rewards. Now, you might be surprised, do I get a reward for recycling? Well, I think you always get a reward for recycling because it is for the environment and lots of things. But there's a new program going and starting on the 1st of May. And we're going to talk to David Paynter as the COO of TES Recycle. David, welcome.
Yeah, hi Wade, great to be with you.
Now, first of all, you're the COO of TES Recycle. Before we go into this program, yeah, it's quite obvious, TES Recycle, but in your words, what does the organization do?
Yeah, TAS Recycle's a not-for-profit organisation, which is the scheme coordinator for Tasmania's container refund scheme. So we're here to really administer and promote awareness around the scheme, which is a really exciting thing for Tasmania. And it's the last state in Australia to have a scheme of this nature. So we're here to assist to administer it, make sure the scheme has integrity, and connect the suppliers, the beverage suppliers, with the network operator, and ultimately the consumer who gets a refund for returning their containers to a refund point.
It's a great idea, of course, but at the same time, it's almost, I don't want to say sad, but it's like you would think that when you live in the state of Tasmania, one of the cleanest and best states in the country and in the world, that people should be aware about recycling, isn't it? Don't just
Uh,
throw everything and anything just in the bin.
yeah, 100%. And what we know too is that particularly in Tasmania, 45% of the litter that you find around is made up of these eligible containers, which are now going to be able to be taken to a refund point, and you can receive some funds for it. So it's a great opportunity for Tasmanians to get a little bit more familiar with the ability to recycle and making a contribution to the environment. So it's a real positive.
Hmm. Now, I'm sure in mainland Tassie, there's going to be yeah, collecting points here, there, and everywhere. As far as I know, here on the island, we're going to have one next door to the IGA supermarket, and I'm
That's
sure
right.
it's similar for Flinders Island with their supermarket there. Is it? Can you explain what am I sort of looking at? A big robot with a hole in it, and I put my cans and bottles in, or?
That's right. Yeah, but well, pretty much, Wade. Yeah. So the network operator is Tomra Cleanaway, which is a joint venture between Tomra, a Norwegian company, and Cleanaway, who are the waste management organisation down here. And they've got these reverse vending machines. So it's basically a machine that's smart enough to for you to put your container in a slot, and it reads a barcode and checks the dimensions to make sure it's a legitimate container. And then it puts it into a bin in the back of the machine, which is effectively like either a shipping container or a large bin to hold the containers. And then once you've finished putting your containers in, you can either scan to your phone to get the funds put into your account. You can donate to a charity, or you can get a voucher to a participating retailer, and it's normally aligned to the supermarket that the reverse vending machine is near, and then you can take that voucher and use it at the supermarket. So yeah, that's effectively what they are. They're a large shipping container that's there to accept the containers and then remit the funds or donate them to a charity. So pretty easy to use.
And I guess it's something, yeah, you can use 24/7. You can put it in whenever you like.
You can. There are opening hours, and so they'll soon be available. You can download the Recycle Rewards app on your phone, and it has a lot of information about the RVMs in your area. So, in particular, on the island there, it'll have the opening hours published for the sites pretty soon in the next a week or so. That'll be available, but tend to operate during business hours most of the time, just to allow for the logistics of the collection of the containers and the like.
Hmm. Now I'm going to show the image because you've got a website there also,
That's right.
recyclerewards.com.au, which is good.
That's right.
Um, now there's one thing I don't fully understand is like, and I'm showing the images here. There's certain cans and bottles you can put in, and there's certain ones you can't put in. Now, what is, for example, the difference if I have a beer stubby, and I do have a wine bottle? The beer stubby I can put in, the wine bottle I can't put in. Is there
That's
what's
right. Yeah, so there's a whole range of containers that are eligible. So it's pretty much any container between 150 mils or 3 liters, glass bottles, plastic, and cartons. But there's certain containers that aren't eligible. So plain milk, white wine bottles, and the like. So I guess the philosophy around it, really, the scheme is looking at what's contributing to litter. So sort of as I mentioned earlier, I think that 45% of the litter that's around Tasmania is provided by certain types of containers that are the eligible ones, and that's really where the focus is at the moment. And also for beverages that are consumed outside of home premises, which is contributing to a lot of the litter, and that's some of the philosophy around the what's in and what's out.
Is there going to be well, once it say it works and everybody is satisfied the way it is all going, you think that the organization will look into it in the future to say, bring us any bottle you got, or is this
Yeah,
really?
we're governed by the legislation here, so that would probably be a decision for down the track. But there's also moves around in other states looking at what is an eligible container and what may be included. But at the moment, it is what's prescribed on the website.
Hmm. Now, you
Yeah,
also mentioned you can make a donation to say an organization or whatever.
that's right.
I think that's a good idea, to be honest, because it will encourage people to support things like on the island. How does that sort of work then?
So charities can go ahead and register with through Tomra Cleanaway. They just need to be have a charity or not-for-profit status, and also have been in operation for a certain amount of time to make sure it's legitimate. And then it's a pretty simple process from there once they're approved, and then they'll appear on the app itself, so you can go through and search for that particular donation partner or scan through at your leisure to pick a particular donation partner that you want to contribute those funds to. There is also some preferred partners or charity partners that may appear on screen from time to time when you go to the vending machine. So that's there as well. So a real positive, and so can actually spread it around. Or if a particular community group wants to drive it, they can let people know in their area, and then they can push their donations to that particular partner.
To show the size of the whole project, how many, let's call them vending machines or collection machines, how many are there going to be around the whole state of Tasmania?
Around the whole state, eventually, once they're all up and going, looking to have around 49. So from the 1st of May, should be around 40 around Tasmania. So there'll be the reverse vending machines, which you'll see, as you mentioned, on Main Street there, that you'll have up on the island. And then there'll be probably another 40 of those of similar size, either effectively a double shipping container or a single sized one that'll be there on Main Street. And then there'll be some automated depots in the south of Tassie and in the north and northwest as well, where you can actually drive through. And they can take a few more containers per minute than the smaller machines can, and also can deal with some of the commercial volumes to really try and start to build on that those recycling targets.
Now, with the collection, then once the bin is full or has to be emptied, here on King Island, is that going to be then a task for our council, or is there going to be an organisation appointed to look after all of that? Or
So that will sit with a network operator, Tom Cleanaway. So they're currently working through all of that at the moment. Yeah.
so okay, that now I guess yeah, it's all try and error. I guess that where do you see is there any difficult points in there to get this all running and up and successful, or we've done all the homework, it looks all perfect?
Not really. I mean, what we know from other states that have rolled it out is that it's important to build awareness and also be able to have the network there to back it up. So there's been quite a bit of work put in by the network operator to have a really good spread around Tassie, so that there's accessible points and that they're in close proximity to most Tasmanians. So you'll find them around in sort of major shopping centres in the car parks to make it easy, and so people can sort of fit it in with their routine if they're going to do their grocery shopping or the like. They can make return their containers, and then they can either get a voucher or make a donation to a charity or get the money into their account. So yeah, I mean, it's certainly trial and error. The big thing we're focusing on is obviously building awareness. So we started a campaign, and there'll be some other ads as we approach 1st of May that'll go on free to air television and the like, and then build up awareness through the community as well, and also the great opportunities for these donation partners to get involved, for schools to get involved, kids and the like to really contribute to improve recycling in Tasmania. So we know at the moment, about 1 in every 3 of these eligible containers are currently recycled through the yellow bins, and we obviously want to look to significantly increase that and improve recycling outcomes in Tasmania.
Well, here's the platform, David. To our viewers and listeners, what would you
Yep.
like to tell them? What would you like to say?
Well, that's just that this Recycle Rewards, I think, is a great thing for Tasmania, and particularly people who've lived in Tasmania and are proud of the environment that we're in. It's looking to reduce litter by half of these containers and increase recycling. You'll get 10% refund for each of these containers that are returned, and the money goes into your pocket. That can go to a charity or a sporting club. And we know from research that's been done over the last few years that overwhelming majority of Tasmanians, support the philosophy of the scheme. It's great for Tasmania, great for your community, and great for the environment. So I'd really love people to get involved and making the contribution to where they live.
David Paynter, well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Wade.